Good morning all, and lovely to see you this morning. Starting the class then today, coming into sitting and just make yourself comfortable in some sort of seated position. And once you get there, however you are choosing to sit today, then just take a few moments to really start to feel the contact of your sit bones, both sides of the body, down with the seat, with the floor beneath you. And then letting go of your body's weight. So almost let yourself slump a little bit so you really do feel the weight of the body settling on the floor. Make contact with your sit bones. Now feel the density of the pelvis. It's this big bowl-like shape at the base of the spine. So allow it to spread almost like you're easing outwards into both sides of the pelvis to anchor yourself a little bit more firmly with the mat. And then very gently from that bowl-like shape, lifting up into your spine. Just a gentle lift, and concentrate the lift at the base of the spine. To really feel the sense of drawing into the core, lifting up, and then the rest of the spine will quite naturally lift. Now, find this sense of the crown of the head right at the top of the skull, and as if that's very lightly being lifted upwards by a very thin thread. Just make sure your shoulders are nice and relaxed. See, you can just wiggle them a little bit, connect with them, and then anchoring down again, and allow your eyes to shut. But just note, observe how your breath enters into the trunk of the body. And breathing in and out through the nose, a natural breath. Just letting yourself rest in the flow of breath within you. Few moments to enjoy being with the body, giving yourself time to breathe, to arrive. Don't feel you have to hold the mind still, letting the mind move, but use your breath to focus. And just taking your attention to the day that lies ahead of you and to the week thereafter. And if there's anything that you'd like to bring into your practice, any affirmation, intention, to guide and support you through that, through time coming. Allow your eyes to open if they're shut in the next couple of breaths. And then drawing your knees up and together. Now we're going to stretch out our legs out in front of us. And if you catch hold of your belt now, and just bringing the belt over the tops of the toes, and then holding the belt in both hands and lifting up into your spine. So you might kind of have a little bit of space between your toes and the belt here. And again, anchor down into your sit bones as you lift up into the spine. Now again, drawing up and into your belly, so you lift. Again, finding that point on the crown of the head. See if you've got that very light cord lifting up the crown. And giving yourself a couple of breaths here. And then following your in-breath into the out-breath as you breathe out, just letting your spine hinge forward. Breathing in, lifting up again. Another out-breath, a little bend through the elbows, hinging forward. In-breath. And into another out-breath. Coming up to sitting again, and take the belt into your left hand, and with your right arm, circle it up and over the head, and down to the ground behind you. So you can rest on the fingertips here as the hand arrives on the ground. Again, lift up into the belly, up into the crown, and you're arriving into a twist. For your next in-breath, you bring that right arm up and over, and it's going to catch hold of the belt. And then that frees up the left arm to take the big circle up and behind you, arriving onto the fingertips of the left hand, and arriving into twist. Left arm coming up and over again. And both hands arriving on the belt again. Separate it out so you're holding it in both arms. Again, draw up into your spine. And from the spine up and into the crown. Breathe in. And out breath, folding forward again. Letting your head hang down as you reach the edge of that forward fold. And then lifting up into sitting. Let go of the belt now for a moment. Hands coming behind your spine. Your fingers are facing forwards towards the body, just a little distance. Breathe in and lift up. Leaning back into the palms of the hands. An out breath, hinging forward, hands coming to the back of the spine, the lower spine. So you're just supporting it there, a little bit of warmth on the back of the spine as you hinge forward again. Another in-breath, lift up. Hands again on the back of the spine. Lean up and back into the palms. And again, hinging forward, peel off the heel of the hand, bring the palms to the back of the spine. Try to keep your toes flexed up here, so it would just really kind of help to open up through the backs of the legs. Now your next round of breath, you're doing the same again. The only difference being as the hands come down, you lift up and back, you'll let your jaw open. And then closing the mouth as you hinge forward again, and hands on the back of the spine. And arriving back into sitting, hinging up, and coming down onto your back. Now arriving on your back, draw your knees into the chest as closely in as you can. You can even bring hands around the tops of the shins. Put a little bit more weight on that closing inwards. Long deep breaths down into your belly here. We take one more. And then drawing the knees together and hugging in the right knee still. Press down your left foot, still hugging the right knee. Keep pressing into the left foot. Almost like you're drawing your left knee away from the body. Now hand coming to the top of the right knee. And you can anchor your left hip down with the left hand. We're going to draw a circle around with the right knee. As far as you can, the left leg is as stable as you can make it. So it's not getting involved in the movement of this circle. Although it will want to follow a little bit. One more. Hugging in your right knee, interlace the fingers, place them on the top of the shin if that's comfortable, else drawing the knee towards you and stretching out the left foot. So left leg is now stretched out along the mat, toes flexed up, so you're drawing that left heel as far away from you as you can. And lifting up the left heel just a fraction off the floor, that feels comfortable. If not, carry on, drawing the left heel away from you. Left foot bending, left foot planting down on the mat. And you'll stretch out the right leg out away from you. As it comes, draw the left knee into the body. And a few breaths here, taking the left knee closely into the core. Again, you can just put hands on the knee, or else you can anchor the shin with the hands. Remember to keep the right foot flexing up. Next breath or so, you may want to lift the right heel a fraction. Next one, and bending your right foot. You're placing the right foot down on the floor, the knee bent up to the ceiling. Now, a few breaths just to press down into your right foot as you draw the left knee even more closely into your paw. And then we'll bring the right hand down to the right hip, left hand's on the top of the left knee. And again, you're taking the circle with the left knee. And as you do so, just trying to keep the right side of the body as stable as you can. Which just helps you to localize the movement down into your left hip flexor. One more breath. And we hug both knees in, crossing the feet over. You can reach down to the feet and just draw them closely into the legs. You can rock a little bit from side to side. You can just bring weight down onto the shins here as well. When you take them across in one way, we cross the feet the other way, catch hold of the feet again, drawing them in. And then releasing the feet, catch hold of your belt again here. And we'll take the belt, planting the right foot down over the ball of the left foot. Stretch up that left leg just as far as feels comfortable to you. So you can keep a bit of bend through the knee, that feels more comfortable. Else you can stretch up into the heel. Hands at either sides of the belt. Now press down into your right foot as much as you can. Keep your shoulders relaxed. You may want to actually extend the distance between the foot and the belt to relax the shoulders a little bit more. And then releasing the left foot down to the floor, planting it to the floor, the knee is bent, and then we bring the belt around the ball of the right foot. Now the right leg stretching up now as you plant down that left foot as strongly as you can. And then taking the belt off, planting your right foot down, belt is to the side again. And now the soles of the feet coming together and your knees turning out to the sides of the body. Now, if you are feeling a little bit tight through the groin, you can just rub the hands down through across the inner thighs. Just softening the sensation a little bit with the heel of the hand. And then we'll stretch up the arms up over the head. The next out breath, bringing the arms back down and to the belly. Take your knees together now, and both knees together. Arms can come up above the head into a C shape, palms facing up. With your in-breath, the knees will come to the right-hand side, both knees working together, and you're gazing towards your left shoulder. Remember to keep your breath long and level here. Feet coming back up. Both knees together over to the left-hand side. And you're gazing towards the right shoulder. The knees coming back to the center line now. Now you've got a choice here. You're either going to roll over onto the right-hand side to push yourself up to sitting, else crossing your feet, and then crossing them over the opposite way. So probably the way that feels less familiar. Lift the feet up. You're holding the outer edges of the feet, then rolling up into sitting. And rolling up into sitting. Then separating the legs and swinging them around behind you. And we're all going to meet in a child, stretching back to the pelvis, arms reaching out in front of you. The next breath, reaffirm your practice intention. And then lifting up and into down dog. Toes tucking under, knees bent a little bit as you arrive here. Drawing back in towards your heels. Next round of breath, and we'll walk the feet up towards the top of the mat, or else you can step them up towards the hands. And you're coming into forward fold. Now, as far as you feel comfortable, tip the weight forward a bit onto the balls of the feet. Should help you encourage the backs of the legs to lift up a little bit. You may feel a little bit more precarious with the balance, so really anchor down into the feet as you do so. And then we're going to bring hands up to the hips, and hands on the hips, thumbs facing backwards. Start to roll the spine up and into standing. Let me just draw my mat back a little bit so I'm not decapitated. There we are, that's better. Right, in breath, arms floating up above the head. Catch hold of your right wrist, and take the hand over to the left-hand side. Come to the center line, catching hold of the left wrist, left hand over to the right. Come back to the first side now, so catching hold of the right wrist. See if you can draw that right elbow back a bit. So you really are opening into the front of the body, and then tilting your chest up towards the ceiling. Next breath or so. And over to the first side. And then both arms stretching out into a V shape, and with your out breath folding down into a forward fold. Make sure you're facing forward on your mat here. Now offering your spine, feet together or hips width apart, fingertips to the floor or up on the shins, anywhere you want on the leg. In breath from the base of the spine, drawing it forward. Look forward, soften your shoulders. And out breath, stepping back into down dog. Really plant the hands down as you lever the legs back. And drawing your sit bones up and back. Now draw your belly inwards as you come down onto all fours. Keep that support for your core as you take your pelvis back to your heels. And then looking forward between hands, keep drawing your belly in towards the base of the spine. Arrive on the belly. Breathe into your cobra. And we come down to the spine. So repeat the cobra with the next in-breath. Breathing in. And out breath, arriving up and back into down dog again. Now you can adjust your feet in, or else just see how it feels to have quite a wide legged down dog, which means you'll have to work harder a little bit to keep the lift up into your sit bones, to anchor down into your heels. And keeping the height through the hips, come up onto your balls of the feet, heels are high, and we'll step the feet or walk them up towards the hands. Offer the spine again. Out breath, folding downwards. And rolling the spine up. The arms will follow above the head. Breathe in. And out breath, guiding hands back and into the heart. Check your elbow points are out to either sides of the body and that they're lifted. Big in-breath, arms circling up. And out breath, easing downwards into forward fold. Offering your spine. Again, remember to draw the shoulders back. Draw up into your belly, breathing in. And out breath, hands coming down. Once they're anchored, a big step back into down dog. Now remember again to draw inwards into the belly and keeping that core connection as you come forward onto all fours. You draw back towards your heels, breathing out, looking forward, sliding through into cobra, breathing in, and out breath. Toes tucked under, a wide stance, arriving back into down dog. Get ready to step the feet forward so heels are high. Walking, stepping the feet up, breathe in, offer the spine. Out breath, folding. And coming up to rise again, a deep in breath. The arms floating up. And out breath. Hands arriving back and to the heart. So hands arriving at the heart, elbow points out to either side, shoulders soft. Draw into the core. Then a light touch, bring your fingertips up to the shoulders. Now your elbows are still out to the sides and they're lifted. Take the elbow points towards the center line. In breath, up the center line, out breath, out behind you. Into another in breath. And into the out breath. Another in breath. Come the other way. With your in breath now, elbow points lift out behind you. And with your out breath, they're arriving down the center line. And we take one more. Shaking out the arms at the end of that, really shake down into the fingertips. And then just reaching forward, catching hold of the belt. So you want your belt to be a little bit wider than shoulders width apart. And now your feet are hips width apart from one another and drawing into the core again. So just as you were doing when you were sitting, just feel for a moment the weight of the pelvis balanced on the top of the legs. Just feel the center of gravity within the pelvis. Then lightly draw into your belly to allow the spine to lift. And finding again that point on the crown of the head, as if it were being pulled up by a very thin cord. Just one more breath here. And then in breath, holding the belt with both hands, we'll stretch the belt, stretch our arms up and over into a V shape. And take your gaze up towards the ceiling, the next round of breath. Now draw your belly inwards again. Widen the hands along the belt as far as you want to, and sliding the arms around the back of the body. Now, keeping the arms as straight as you can here, draw into your belly. The arms will lift out behind you, just pausing there at that point where you don't really want to lift them any further. Draw into your core, relaxing the arms down. Just shrug out your shoulders a couple of times here. And we'll do one more. Now you're still holding the belt here, so straighten it out again and breathing in, drawing your belly inwards and the arms will float over. Drawing into your belly again, breathing in, arms will lift up, back. And as you breathe out, you'll bring them over the back of the body. Belly inwards again, the arms lift up, and they come over. Coming back over. Another in breath, remember the belly to spine. Feel the weight of the pelvis. Feel the weight of the pelvis. Keep feeling it as the arms come over. Now this time we're just going to lift the arms up just a little distance again, as far as you want to, a bit like you're flying. Belly to spine. Feel the weight of the pelvis. Arms coming down. Shrug them out. One more time. And then with your in-breath, feel the weight of the pelvis and the arms will float over. And then we pop the belt down again, just to the side. So riding on the top of the mat again, and feet are together as you arrive. Big in-breath, the arms flowing up. Glide into a forward fold. In-breath, bottom of the spine. Remember to draw forwards through the base of the spine, the shoulders soft. Out breath, palms down, and we'll step back into down dog. The south of breath also here in down dog. Going to come down a little bit differently this time. So drawing into the core again, knees will come down. But this time, lowering downwards through the chest. Now, when it's actually come up again, so I'm just looking at my own spine there, and it was sinking a little bit. So just make sure that you are lifting up into your core. You really are supporting the base of the spine here. So then as you come forward, you're lowering the chest down, but try not to do that. Try not to kind of concave the spine. Keep it as straight as you can, which is actually quite hard. Come forward, slide onto the belly. In breath, into cobra, and out breath, we ease back and onto the heels. Hands a little distance apart again. Come forward onto all fours. Remember to keep lifting into the base of the spine, and you're arriving in a neutral all fours position. Now just tilt your pelvis so it's tilting up the sit bone so you can see the curve of the spine, feel the curve. Then start to straighten it. So you're slightly lifting up into the belly to get that straightness through the lower spine. Now hold that straightness as you start to lower down again. And then in breath, sliding onto the belly, arriving into cobra, and out breath, back into down dog. Now you can keep your feet quite wide, so there's a big distance between hands and feet here. Really encourage that stretching out through hamstrings. Take one more round of breath. Now we're going to step the left foot forward between the hands, and then we're walking the hands around between the feet. So you're now facing along the long edge of your mat. Hands just in front of you, breathe in, and we're offering the spine forward. See if you can soften your shoulders. Out breath, hands walking down and back between the feet, and you're arriving into a forward fold with wide legs. Walk your hands slightly further forward now, and then bending the right knee. You may want to put the right hand in front of the right foot for support there. Make sure your left hand is in the center, and we're easing onto the right knee. So you're kind of lunging on the right knee, and you're stretching, straightening out the left foot, pointing it up to the ceiling. Come to the other side. Right hand will come to where the left hand was in the center. Left hand in front of the left foot. Bending onto the left leg. and stretching along this right seam of the leg, toes pointing to the ceiling. Come back to your center line, and with your hands coming to the hips, bend your knees a little bit and start to come up into sitting, standing. Now, toes pointing away from you, heels coming in, hands on the hips and sinking down into the knees. Just slide your hands a couple of times, iron out in the seam of leg. Lovely. And we'll take the arms out to the sides of the body. Very soft lift of the arms. You want to use a mudra here, index finger to thumb just to soften it, or index finger to the third finger. Start to come back into forward fold. So as you do that, the hands will come down, and then take your heels out to the sides of the body. Breathe in, offer your spine forward, and breathing out, you're folding into forward fold again. Hands coming forward again. Look forward. Take your heels in again, so your toes are pointing out. Hands on the hips, lifting you up into standing again. Again, sink low down into your knees. Arms out to the sides of the body. Soft shoulders. And if you want to move a little bit from side to side, do feel free. We'll intensify that stretch across the inner edge of the legs. Let the weight of the body, let the legs carry the weight of the pelvis. Next breath, arms coming down. Take your feet out again, so your heels are out, and folding. Now walking your hands around to your left foot again. Rotate the left foot so it's pointing forward. Hands on the sides of the left foot and stepping back into down dog. And arriving down onto all fours. And threading your left arm underneath the right, down onto the left temple. You can come up onto the fingertips of the right hand to open up into the twist. Right hand coming down. We'll take that onto the other side now. So right arm underneath the left to the right temple. and right hand joining the left. So you're back onto all fours. So just level your spine again for a few moments, drawing the belly up. From here, a little bit of free movement, however you want to move on all fours into cat and cow, figures of eights. Maybe even just stillness. Just listen into your body a bit. Whatever you'd like to do here, just to ease into the spine. And in the next breath or so, we'll all join into a cat and cow. And we'll take the pelvis far back towards heels. And then with our in-breath, we're going to scoop low with the front of the body to come forward and then back again. So you're accentuating the movement. And then, next round of breath or so, and bringing the legs around to the front of the mat. Now coming into another forward fold, you can use the belt here. If you don't want to, then don't feel you have to. It's useful to get that lift through the spine sometimes with the belt. In breath and out breath, folding forward. Round of breath. And we lift up and into sitting again. So releasing the belt if you're using it and coming down onto the spine. Now bending, stretching out the left leg and bending your right knee in towards the chest. We'll take the belt now around the ball of the foot again. Now keep that left leg as strong as you can, toes flexed up. We'll lift up into the right foot. Using the belt as a lever. Holding the belt in both hands. Keep the left leg as strong as you can, as active as you can. Now taking the belt in the right hand, left hand can come down to the left hip, and we'll take that right leg out towards the side of the body. Keep the left leg still as active as you can. And the right foot will lift back up. Holding the belt in both hands again. Taking the right foot towards your head, so you're stretching it away as acutely as you can from the left leg. And then we'll bend the right knee. And we're stretching the right foot out to join the left. So coming on to the other side, so excuse me, I just wiggle away from the armchair. The belt coming around the ball of the left foot. Now stretch out the right foot again as strongly as you can. Reach up with the left leg. And a few breaths here, just accentuating the lines through the body. Next round of breath or so, we'll take the belt in the left hand, right hip, right hand to the right hip. Now keep this right leg as active as you can as you take the left leg out to the side of the body. And we'll take the left leg back in. So hold the belt with both hands again as you take the left foot towards the head again, stretching out the right leg away from it. And then take the belt now in your right hand. Left hand can just come down to the floor. I'm just taking the right leg over towards the left leg over towards the right hand side. You're still working with the left leg here, so I think I've said that a little bit wrong. So left leg towards the right hand side. Take it back again. Bend in the left knee. We'll just do the same on the right foot so we're nice and balanced. We'll stretch out the left leg, lift up into the right foot. Right hand can just go to the side of the body, or you can use the belt in both hands. You're just taking the right leg over towards the left hand side a little bit. Which is really useful at opening out that outer seam of the leg. Back it comes. Release out the left leg and stretching both legs out in turn. Put the belt to the side of the body and allowing yourself to arrive here into Shavasana. Now arriving in Shavasana, an awareness of both feet and following the line of the body up through both legs, into the pelvis, and feeling the weight of the pelvis anchored on the floor. Follow the center line of the body up along the spine, into the skull. Letting your breath relax, flow however it wants to flow in a natural rhythm. And taking rest. become aware of the contact of your body with the earth. Become aware of the air touching the body around you. Becoming aware of the touch of breath within the body. And starting to move fingers and toes and the head from side to side. And when you're ready to move, if you then bend knees and roll over to the side of the body, give yourself a few resting breaths here. And from there, finding your way up and back into sitting. So take a comfortable seat again. Find contact of pelvis with the earth, following the lift of the spine up into the ground, and feeling your breath within you. And allowing your eyes shut before you carry on with your day into the week. You may want to affirm your practice intention to yourself silently 3 times. And hands coming to the heart, and there bowing forwards to the heart. And closing practice. Thank you.